Absolutely. And but before Yaacov jumps in here, I just want to welcome everybody who just picked us up out there live streaming on the internet. Lions Live, folks, welcome aboard. We're streaming across the nation here on the Only Network, but by the players, you're the fans. You've been hearing Big Dude Stephen Davis, Yaacov Israel. My name's Skip Dreibelbis, and Stephen just gave a great summary here, and Yaakov's going to give some more comment here about giving a summary of our past year. Yaacov? Well, initially, some things I noticed is, and I think Penn State stood out to me with Penn State, where, they played with heart right to the end. And actually, time of possession, we had the ball more than Georgia did, and we actually had almost, over 75 yards more, well, almost 75 yards more than Georgia gained throughout the whole game. So, I think we all made some mistakes. The turnovers will always kill you. But, the first downs, we're right there, 16-17 against Georgia. I mean, I think Penn State played as best they could with everything they had, and seeing the guys not give up, I think was very encouraging. They played with heart right to the end. So, those are some things that stood out in my mind. It was, obviously it's disappointing when you don't get a win, but looking at the numbers, Penn State, they tried to stick in it as best they could. It wasn't that well a matched game either. I mean, Georgia. They have their good team, but it's in different ways. It was a kind of an odd matchup for an SEC and a Big Ten team, but I guess it's best you could put it together. Some things I've noticed this year throughout the bowl season, and I'm actually holding it up here so people can see it. I get the Wall Street Journal, and in the Journal they always put some unique statistics out, and they had an article here about how the bowl season was more like a blowout season, and it seems like there's been really some bad matchups. this year with a lot of these bowl games. And I think the biggest one that they pointed out here was the Boise and Northern Illinois. 55-7 was so we're in a system of playoffs here, guys, and they keep trying to make it better, but it's give and take. How do you match up a good team? And this is just one of those years, it seems like. So, but as far as Penn State goes, I think we learned a lot, and I'm thankful that Christian Hackenberg wasn't injured more severely than what he was. I could tell it was a shoulder separation. Nobody wanted to talk about it or see what it was, but you could tell the way it went down. And I speak from experience. That's how you separate a shoulder. Those backyard football days, getting tackled like that will get you every time that way. So you can tell it's a slight separation, but he's actually out this week, getting ready for the draft. So I trust he recovers and is ready for that when the time comes, and wish him all the best. Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that, Stefan. That's interesting you mentioned that, Stefan. I was looking back through some of my notes here as you were talking, and a couple of things that stood out in my mind that concerned me. I can appreciate being aggressive at times. It concerned me at different times going forward on fourth down when we did, especially when we don't make it. And you mentioned about McSorley running. I thought, we just lost a quarterback. Do you really want to have him out running the ball right now? He's your second guy, getting cracked like he was. I think eyes are going to be like, hey, let's back off a little bit here with him doing that. And obvious concerns. And that's something I talked to you a little bit earlier about, Stefan, and I want to toss out there. And it's about the type of styles of offenses and things we're seeing and where we're headed. But before we get there, though, I wanted us to maybe kind of revisit some of our early predictions here from the year before. Now, if you folks go back and look, our show's been archived on Lions Live on our YouTube channel. Go check it out. We made our fearless predictions, and we get to say a little bit of I told you so now. And, this is coming from more so guys like Stefan, who's been, coaching and been around football 40-plus years, coaching 20-plus years. Or is it 30, Stefan? Almost 30 years, at least 20. Sure. And then you got Yaacov, the younger generation come up. We've all stuck around football, been around it for a lot, seen a lot of it over the years, and especially Stefan coaching as much experience he has. We try to come up with predictions every year, and we got to pat ourselves on the back a little bit here. We did pretty good. We picked out from the Big Ten this year. We were talking about it coming down to one of two teams, and that would be an Ohio State and a Michigan State, and Michigan State won it. And, if Ohio State wouldn't have just kind of gone flat, I think they probably would have been back in there playing for the national championship. And we picked, I personally picked, I don't remember everything you guys picked, but I personally picked Ohio State and Alabama in a rematch for the national championship. And I think Ohio State would have been there and would have done it, but they just went flat at one point during the season, so they didn't make it. But I got the part right with Alabama playing for it. And Stefan, I remember you were picking one of those two teams too for the Big Ten. And Yaacov, who were you picking? I think you were. Yeah. Yeah, it was one of those weird seasons, too, because as you watch those teams and you remember, when we try to take seriously what we say out there, folks. We have a lot of fun here, but when we try to look at football, we try to delve into it and give you an idea of, hey, here's some things we're seeing and what trends we're noticing, and this is where it's at. So we make these predictions. We're not just like the guys out there in the newspapers just kind of wild, randomly guessing, hoping and whatnot. We're actually out here trying to pick teams that come out that we think are really going to win. And so we did pretty good this year with that. But which moves me, and I want to transition to, is some of the trends I'm seeing in what's being successful in college football and the type of styles of offenses, defenses, and offensive lines and running games and systems out there. And I didn't know if, Stefan, you wanted to touch off and talk a little bit more about that, or Yaacov. One of you guys maybe want to talk on that subject a little bit? I think we lost him. Maybe his battery went down his phone. He'll get back here to us. I heard his call drop here. Hey, and also, and I know Stefan just came right back on here with us again. That's okay. Technical difficulties, we're used to them here, but we're coming through a lot more clear than we ever have before here, finally at the end of the season. And before I get back into that, also, hey, I wanted to give a message out there. Dan the fan, who's out there watching, listening, he sent me a message that he couldn't come in with his comments here because he's the wild, crazy fan out there that always likes to chime in. But he can't make it tonight. He's taking care of his girlfriend. So we wanted to wish him a good new year, and of course, trust his girlfriend gets a little bit better here. So how you doing, Dan? Thanks for the message. We'll catch you next time. Stefan, what I was mentioning was some trends we've noticed, and I just touched on how we made our predictions, and we just don't try to guess at this stuff. We really try to look at these teams carefully and closely through the spring ball games that we see on TV, going to Penn State's practices, watching the spring games, and then tracking into the fall. We try to take a look and we make predictions. We're not just guessing. We're actually really trying to fine tune in there and pick some teams that are going to come out on top. And thankfully this year, I think we did pretty good. But the other thing I was mentioning also that I wanted to maybe start talking about was some of the trends we touched on a little bit as we talked earlier in the week that I've noticed with offenses, defenses, and the type of styles of offenses of what's getting the teams consistently there to the national championship games. And I don't know if you wanted to maybe start off and touch on that a little bit at all, Stefan, or if you wanted to give a comment or two along those lines. Wow. Yeah. Well said, Stefan. Well said. And I wanted to chime in with that a little bit too, because I really like some of the things the Wall Street Journal does with when they talk about sports. I know it's one of those newspapers people are like, why do I get that? And I hey, no. I mean, I think it's one of the best. I think it's the best paper out there. I mean, I think Yaacov. I know Yaacov reads it. He gets the Journal. Okay. No, I like the Journal. Well, I used to be a broker, but I got the Journal like 20 years ago. I've stuck with it, man. I really like it. But when they come out with the statistics stuff, now it's good. It's good on the statistics. And they had an article earlier this fall, and I wanted to bring it up on our show, and I should have brought it with me or brought it up on the computer tonight. But it's called, about the shotgun not being as deadly as people had hoped. And the statistics show that the shotgun is not as effective, really statistically, as far as successful plays, as putting guys under center. So I'm glad you brought that up, Steph. And that's why I mentioned that, because I tend to agree that when you have a quarterback under center, especially up at the goal line, you're within 6 feet or 3 feet sometimes of trying to get across the goal line. Why do you want to back a guy up another 10 feet, away from the ball? It doesn't make sense. And then you run the issue of a possible bad snap. The quarterback has to catch it. He has to hand it to somebody. When you get a guy up under center, you have one person handing the ball to another who gets it, who can turn, keep it himself, or run an option, take 3 steps, toss it, or hand it off to somebody else. I don't understand why they're running shotgun when you're up close that to the goal line like that. The other thing I'm noticing, and I'm noticing this being consistent, the teams that are making it to these playoffs are the teams that have the biggest guys up front on both sides of the ball. And they're the teams that are not the run and shoot. They're the teams that are just going to pound it to you day in and day out and force you to stop the run. And when you finally get up and you can stop the run, then they have a quarterback who's an accurate passer who's going to throw it downfield, and they got the speed, like you say, who can catch it. We see the Alabama, we see the Ohio States, the Michigan States, we see the Stanford. We see these teams out there that are running more of a traditional type of an offense, and they're still the teams that are dominating out there. And my question is, with the style of Penn State, and we're shifting away to now that run and shoot type of offense, can we really produce? Are we going to be able to get the type of linemen that we need to have that type of success that you want to have? That's the biggest question we see coming to us in the future. And I hope with the recruiting with Coach Franklin, we'll know. And along that thread too, there, why I mention that before I forget it, I think fans out there need to take a step back, take a deep breath, relax a little bit here, and realize, you really can't evaluate a coach coming into the situation he came into here until he's had a recruiting class and a legitimate graduating class. Give him 5-6 years to get his feet wet with the program, because you really can't jump into expecting a national championship team with what Penn State's just coming to. We're finally getting our scholarships back. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Yaacov, I don't know if you wanted to throw anything in there along those lines or not. I know, I had to. I'd forget it. If I didn't say it, I'd forget it. I'd forget to bring it up. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, I think so. Well, as we talked earlier in past programs, I didn't know whether it was a good precedent to set here at Penn State for firing an offensive coordinator like Coach Franklin did. I think we needed to get through some recruiting classes and really give an opportunity for a program to solidify before making a change like this. And in one game does not a coach make. And Right. So I think it's hard to really say. I don't know whether the prior offensive coordinator really had a fair shot or a fair shake coming here at Penn State. He came here. They're all still trying to settle in. They're all trying to still try to adapt. But they still didn't even get. We're just now getting our ability to recruit at full strength. So I don't think it's been a fair shake here with what's been happening. I think I blame the fans for what's happened because everybody's placed, I think, unrealistic demands upon the coaches and the team, and I don't think it's just unfortunate the way things have gone. So it's hard to say. I think again, you get a new offensive coordinator, half a season, you can't tell. One season you can't tell. I mean, it takes time. The bad precedent it made here for Penn State by, I think, firing the offensive coordinator like it did, even during the season. Because, Stefan and I've noticed over the years, that just doesn't happen here. There's coaching adjustments and people come and go and changes are made, but it's not that radical during a season. And, what are you going to do next? I mean, let's say next year Penn State's halfway through the season and they haven't won a game. You're going to fire the head coach in the middle of the season? Let's say the season's 75% through and we're losing. We're not going to a bowl game. You're going to fire a coach then right away? Is this going to become like the NFL where you're one and done? I don't think it's a good message to send here. But, unfortunately, college football has come to the point where it's all about the money anymore. It's not about the game. It's not how it's played. And it's like what you touched on too, Yaacov, saying how everybody wants entertained today, and they want the high scores, lots of touchdowns. It's like baseball, lots of home runs. The strategy of the game, seeing the physicality of it. They all want to take away the physicality of the football game. We're going to be playing two-hand touch and wearing flags here before you know it because you can't hit anybody because you may get hurt. And we can't have anybody get hurt. Listen, it's a violent sport, folks. I see all these changes. And I personally don't like it. I don't think it's a good direction to be going. I'm old school. Give me the Georgia Tech out there who's going to put the big guys up there and they're going to pound that ball in an option offense and just make the big guys go to it. Or give me a team like Alabama or Michigan State where they're just going to come right at you and put the big guys up front and say, put your guys against mine, and we're going to see who can push one of them furthest. I mean, I like those old games, and you old school Penn State was you get the ball and you establish a strong running game. And then you move, and you can get your passing game going. And I just don't see it. I just don't see it being that way anymore. I think we're in for some changes, and it's okay. Hey, I hope we win. I hope we're successful. I'm not trying to be negative in any way. It's just a difference and changes. And again, I know what generation I fall into. Yaacov, what generation did I fall into? Am I an XYZ or a Q or a RST? I don't know. So I'm almost baby booming, right? I don't get this stuff. It's interesting how they come up with these names for these different demographics, But well, I find that interesting, though, and I think it's really neat how you've taken it to the next level of applying it to football and how you see the different generations of people in the sport. I mean, I guess I'm falling into that old school type of game where I think I'd like to go back and just change the rules back to where they were 20 years ago and let guys go out there and play football, and stop playing this two-hand touch stuff. But then you have this other generation of people for like, well, we got to really worry about these concussions and we got to worry about things. And I said, it is. I'm not denying it's an issue, but now we got guys like Johnny Manziel saying, "Oh, I'm not feeling good. I can't make the practice or game. I think I'm going to go out to Vegas." Oh man, he's a bum. Yeah, I know. I will. He's a bum. Yeah, no kidding. Hey, I wonder what network's going to want to pick him up. Maybe MTV will take him. Give my. Yeah. 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 Yes, you're right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Well said. Well said. Yes. Well said, Yaacov. You're right on to that there, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays down. Hey, I wanted to mention something here because Stefan brought up the issue of Fred G. Sanford here, and I did want to talk a little bit of trash here for a second. I don't know if you hear it in the background now. All right. Hey. Yeah. I am. I want to bring it in because, yeah, well, I want to bring it up here a little bit, but I'll fade it out here a little bit because there was some trashing that going on here at the game here that we need to bring up, and it's something that I never thought would happen at Penn State. I don't know if you guys caught this or not. I was brought up to be one of my friends who was down at the game, and it disappoints me because I think it's a bad precedent for Penn State football. There was the linebacker, Ben Klein. There's video of him out there using all types of foul language, without his helmet on, smashing his head against all his teammates, bloodying himself up, looking like the fool, making stupid comments out there. And it was posted on Facebook. And, the reason they had to change his jersey because he bloodied the first one up because he was out there smashing his head without a helmet on against these guys before the game started, using all types of foul, stuff that it's not Penn State football. And then I heard people saying, "Oh, well, gee, this guy here, he's got a great point average, does all this stuff, and posts all these things about him." So my comments were that it proves that even though a person may receive academic honors and be involved in help me out with this one, philanthropic, help me out, philanthropies, okay? Philanthropic, that's it. There we go. I'm trying to talk too fast. I'm all tongue-tied because, philanthropic. Well, it is. And I'm reading my post from Facebook, so I used the right word. I just couldn't say it because I'm trying to talk it too fast. But, okay, we got it there. So it goes to show he can receive academic honors, be involved in philanthropic affairs, and still have no discipline, self-control, common sense, and are not capable of being dignified enough to make a disgrace at PSU and the team and himself and his family by acting a fool. I can't understand why Coach Franklin would not have just yanked him off the field right away and put him on a bus home right on the spot. Because this, and when people see, if you go out and see the YouTube video of this is not what Penn State football has ever been about. It's not the message that Penn State football wants to put out about its athletes. And of all this issues of concussions this year, here's a kid acting out there, injuring himself, acting the fool before a bowl game. And I'm thinking, this is stupid. I mean, the NCAA has done stupid stuff this year. I mean, they're penalizing the guys who kick the ball into the end zone, putting on a 25, thinking, well, we want to get more kickoff returns so we can have more concussions, right? I mean, they're doing stuff that's so bad. I know we're penalizing these guys here and tossing them out of games because they maybe had their head down or turned the wrong way when they hit somebody. There's so much schizophrenia out there that, and I just really, that's my Fred G. Sanford comment for the night, man, and that trash talking, because it just disappointed me to see this type of trash come out there in the field. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it yet or not. See the pictures. I hope so. Well, do you think Joe would have had any of that? I'll tell you what, Joe, when he said, "What are you doing? You're out of your mind. Get him out of here. Get him out of the bus, Freddie." That'd have been it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll give you that one. Okay. Yeah. I know. We love the guys. We do, but right. Right. That's right. 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 That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh my. Yeah. 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 Well, we love them as part of the family, but sometimes there's some guys you got to just take out back behind the shed and say, "Hey, listen, dude, you're not doing right here," and that's what a good family does, and we try to do it in a kind way. But um, I know we've seen guys sent home for less. We've seen guys kicked off the team for less. And right, right. Yeah, right. No, no, right. Absolutely. We're down to about 5 minutes here left, and we could always give some predictions here for the national championship game and and what to possibly expect with that. Even throw in some comments about the NFL if you like. Um, and again, I just want to say before I forget, and thank you very much to both of you for being available to come out here and share like you have this past year. And I hope next year we have more guys who want to step up here and take over the mic and join us and contribute. Because Yaacov, I'm so glad that you're part of that younger generation coming out as an interest, because us old guys, we start to get old and we prefer just to stay at home and watch it on TV. And you younger guys can come in here and eventually be taking us all over. And I'd like to see this continue on where it just becomes a part of that tradition of passing the mic on, passing the football on to the next guy as we move off into the sunset. So that's long term down the road. I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon, but I'm more than willing to if more people come in and want to take over this. It's a lot of work each week to go through this, the show prep, the homework you got to do to be ready to come on here and just start talking football. It's not an easy task, but I'm hoping more of your friends, Yaacov, and guys from your teammates and generations to come will want to keep coming in here and keep this going. And I think I met with the station here today earlier and know they're excited about a new year for us. Looking forward to great things to come. Yeah, so I'm really thankful. We've been blessed, and I think it's going to keep getting better. I've had more fun than I've ever had here just being able to talk sports with you guys. I mean, it's how often we get an opportunity to kick back and talk about and get a good laugh in and all at the same time. I mean, it's the best hour of the week I look forward to here. So, but hey, this week here, we're down to about 3 minutes. What are you thinking here coming up with the national championship game? Yeah, 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 yeah. You think so? Wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a big one there, buddy. Wow. 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 What's that size? That's a size 15 coming down on that, right? Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow. Maybe he wants to be like Jimmy Johnson and head on to the NFL and get a few Super Bowl rings. Who knows? Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Right. Wow. That's a fearless prediction. Well, Yaacov, what do you think? I'm with you guys. Tide's going to roll. Clemson's a great team. They got that younger generation offense that's going to go up against the old school, and I think the old school guys, because of the size, are just going to wear them down. And I think the Tide's going to roll. But it'll be a great game to watch. And either way, whichever team wins, it's going to be a great game to watch. I think the Tide's going to roll at the end of this one. As far as scores go, I hope it's a close game, but I think if the Alabama defense shuts down Clemson like they will, I think the Tide, every time they get the ball, is just going to pound it down the field time and time again consistently with that running game. When they have to pass it, they will, and they'll do it successfully. So it'll be a great game to watch. I look forward to it, and it'll be a lot of fun. So it's always great to look forward to that game. It'll be interesting to see, and then it'll be even more fun this spring to try to take a look and see it after everybody's been drafted, everything's changed, watching the spring ball, getting out, watching our own, and start trying to put it together again for next year and see how we do as our picks. Wow, that's great. Excellent job. Wow. Care on the legacy. That's awesome. Well, we each got about a minute here. Any final parting comments to anybody out there you care to pass on, Yaacov? Ah, there you go. Okay. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Well, people can keep in touch and they're out there watching and listening and look. If anybody's going out there, they can track you down and say hello, catch you live and in person for a change. That'd be great. That would be great. And big dude, I know you mentioned about coming up here for a game here soon, so that'll be a good time for us all. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Amen. Well said. Hey, I appreciate you guys as well. I've already said my thanks to all. You guys are the best. And it's kind of unique how you get around football family like this. Everybody kind of just, it's like you've been in the locker room together and different teams, different generations. You get together with guys. You're like, wow, okay, this is good, and I'm thankful. So we'll carry it forward to next year. And much thanks to everybody. Thanks to Magnum Broadcasting here, WBLF and State College carrying us with other stations out there to pick us up as well. And we hope to make this better. And you fans out there listening and watching, give us ideas. Send us your questions, comments. We want to make this something great for all of you so you can be a part of the Penn State football family experience like you've never been before. And we hope that's what we can bring you each and every week as we bring Penn State football forward to the future. So on behalf of Yaacov, Yisrael, and Big Dude Stephen Davis, my name's Skip Rowles. Thank you for joining us. Lord bless you, keep you, make his face shine upon you. We look forward to seeing you all again here real soon. Stay tuned to lionslive.com for our next upcoming broadcast. We'll see you soon. Have a great night. Lord bless. All right.
Here's what she said on the campaign trail. Not to be confused with her imitation of Gone with the Wind character when she was at the Black Church a number of years ago. But this was Hillary addressing race relations. When people say she's positively the worst presidential candidate in memory,
hey, thanks for joining us.
What they mean.
I mean, if we're honest,